Good evening, Law Nerds. It is Friday, October 25th. It is just after 7:38 in Central Standard Time, but it is also like 8:38 local time in Florida. The jury has reached a verdict in the State versus Sarah Boone. So we are live to cover the verdict as it comes in. So with that, I'm going to roll the intro. We are waiting for court to come back on the record. Remember, they not only have to get the defendant into court from lockup, they have to get the attorneys back into court. They told them to stay close, but they all have to be texted, and everyone has to assemble. So they deliberated about an hour and 20-ish minutes. So they picked a four-person, they ate, they chatted, and now they have verdicts. So we've got the feed up. We are ready to roll, and we're going to roll the intro, and then we're going to chat because they're waiting for everybody to come back into court. App notification went out, and we're going to stream and then answer your questions because we're going to just see what happens. So let's roll the intro. Did anyone have time to eat dinner? I didn't. Did you all have time? The jury did. The jury had time to eat, and that's what matters.
Hey there, I'm Emily D. Baker, the internet's go-to legal analyst, breaking down the legal side of the pop culture and entertainment stories we can't stop talking about. I'm a big fan of the cursey words. I've been a licensed attorney for over 17 years, but this is not legal advice. This is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not... Let's get into it.
Law Nerds, we've got court up, and we are just waiting for them to go back on the record. And then remember, once they go back on the record, they still have to bring the jury in. They have to make sure everybody's in, then they have to bring the jury in. It's going to take a minute. From the time the jury notifies that they have a verdict, it is going to take a minute. Things have to happen in court. But again, we are on live court, so we're not going to miss a minute. The jury is trying to decide between the second-degree murder, the lesser included crime of manslaughter, or the misdemeanor one that's named, I can't remember because, oh my God, who would pick the misdemeanor one? So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I don't know about you, but I just got my Law Nerd notification come through on my app. And look, the notification was to all of you before court was back on the record, and that is a win at the end of a very long day. We streamed for over 10 hours this morning, and we are, back on the record here. So, yay, Law Nerd app. Yay to all of you subscribing. Some of you have asked, what's the sub counter at? I can share that real quick. Let's do it after verdict. The second this camera moves, like I am waiting just like you are. The second this camera moves, I am going to be like... Like waiting for verdicts is like a whole thing. But we're just at about, we're at 799, 500. So I'm not going to pull it up on the screen because I don't want people's heads. I don't want to miss a thing. Cue Aerosmith. No, I'm teasing. Don't. One of my devices in my office actually might. So what we don't need, it's like, and the stream disappears for copyright notification from music. That's not what we need. So for those of you asking if the jury had time to eat, they had their dinner waiting for them. So yeah, they did. My in-ears just decided that they were going to fight with me, but we have volume on, we have court ready. Let me make sure I don't have multiple feeds audio on. And we're just waiting for them to go back on the record. So what does a quick verdict mean? It normally means the jury was decisive. I've not seen not guilties be as fast as I have seen guilties. It generally means the jury was fairly unanimous and there wasn't a lot of discussion that needed to happen. And they elected a four-person, they ate dinner, they chatted, and then they filled out the verdict forms. These verdict forms weren't complicated. It was, are you guilty on this, or not guilty? And that's it. We do have chat on slow mode. We just have a lot of people in chat, but we do have chat on slow mode. So it is there. We also have a lot of members. And with that, the members aren't on sleep mode. So there's lots of members in the chat. And so yes, the chat does move fast, but you can kind of hold it down if you need to. So the poll came back. We had put up a new poll and 73% of you said less than 2 hours. And well, that's where this verdict came in. I also thought, I saw the camera wiggling. I also thought that we would be a fast verdict. I'm not surprised that they ate dinner and took time. So that's what they did. So with that, here are some of the questions that are common. Will she be sentenced tonight? No, that's incredibly unusual. It normally takes some time. Most jurisdictions like to get some sort of a report or input. Sentencing will be set over for another day. And also, it seems that these lawyers, they are all from out of the area, wanted to get home this weekend. So I don't even think it'll be set for Monday. I think it will be set over for some time. In the federal system, that can be months. In state systems, it depends. The way I was floored when the Murdaugh verdict came, like the sentencing was like the next morning, I was like, what? You also, it's late at night. You want to give the victim's family time. Look, this is my perspective, but I think you want to give the victim's family time to put together their thoughts and emotions and come back for a victim impact statement. I think that's what's needed. So I think they'll set it over for another date. Bed and Tiger said, Emily, are the excused jurors allowed in court for the verdict? They are if they want to, or they can watch on the internet. They've been excused. So the excused jurors can kind of do whatever they want. They've been excused. So yes, they can be there. And we've actually seen jurors go back for sentencing in the Murdaugh case. And sometimes jurors will go back for sentencing on a case like this that does have public attention. I think if I were a juror, I would want to watch it not live. I think I would want to watch it here. Tanya said, can jurors talk to the press? I don't know what admonishments this court gives. So it depends. A lot of courts will say that you are free to talk, but you do not have to, and then seal the jurors. I saw a couple of you saying, I don't know if there is a verdict. There is a verdict. We just don't know it yet because they haven't read it into the record. So we just haven't read it in the record. So we're waiting for court to go back on the record. There is a verdict. And we are waiting for the jury. Let me update the pinned comment so it's very clear. Verdict, waiting for it to be read in court. All right. Hopefully that will make it clear. Look, the way I was just like, verdict. Put in the in-ears. Put in the in-ears. Go live. That's it. I think I might have the Team Baker took care of the app. I might have said something on YouTube, and that's it. So that's about all. So let's see. So we're just waiting. That's all. We're waiting. So no verdict. There is a verdict. It's just not been read into the chat yet. What time zone are they in? Eastern. It is 8:46 local time. Look, I'm the opening act at this point. So we're just here waiting for court to go live. Why? Because I don't know how long it's going to take them to go live. And I don't want it to go live and then us to be scrambling trying to go live. I want it to be live and we all know what happens. So this is imminent. We will have a verdict imminently. How imminent that is, I don't know, because I don't know how long it will take to get if the defendant is housed another place in the courtrooms, they have to get the defendant into court. They have to get all the jurors, well, they're all in the jury room. They have to get the attorneys all back, and sometimes that's like herding cats. So I saw somebody ask in the chat, Celine Adams 32 said, Emily, what is your longest live stream you've ever done? Apparently it was today. I am being told by Team Baker. I started to feel like Ryan Hall, y'all, while we were in it for the marathon stream session because we were over 10 hours. So apparently today. Emily, what are we doing after Sarah is finished? Well, after this trial is done, I'm going to rest. And then all of you are owed a food court. Stuff is happening in other cases. I owe you updates on those cases. And we'll be doing updates on all of those cases. And a food court. And an update on Bravo things. So there are lots of updates. So that's what we're doing. Are we doing another live trial immediately? No. No, we are not. Why? Because mom life is busy. And because we've got a whole new merch store that is getting ready to launch. So there's like work stuff that needs to happen. I want to do a food court. I want to do a music court. There's a bunch of, I think, interesting music lawsuits going on. So we will be doing that. Sizzix asks, will I be doing sentencing live? Whenever it is, yes. Whenever it is, we will be doing sentencing. Yes. Rachel, no, I don't think the jail will medicate her to stay calm. Dr. B, really? Really? The court's going on the record because we have a verdict and I'm streaming. I love you. Have a good time. Bye. Sound, we need sound. Turn on the sound, Your Honor. Sound. Wait, I don't have sound. Hold on. We are going on the record for the verdict, and my sound is in the place. Streaming is dynamic. That's a fail. That's totally me.
Case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah.
Okay, we're going to go 1.25.
Yes, sure, on behalf of the state. William J. for the state.
Defense.
We're going 1.25 until we're live.
Okay, all right. Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table, wearing the same clothing from this morning.
There we go.
Yes, Mr. Beck.
Judge, they've got her in chains, and they've got her in the ankle handcuffs, so she can't go anywhere. I'm just asking, we would like to rise during the jury coming in.
When the jury comes in, they want her unshackled.
The handcuffs and the waist chain.
I don't know if they want to unshackle her for verdict.
In case there's something wrong with the verdict form, or there's an issue, which sometimes happens, but that's my position.
Okay. I've been advised by the sheriff that during the reading of the verdict, due to Ms. Boone's status as an inmate, their leg irons and the cuffs are to be attached.
She's going to stay seated.
That's fine.
Mr. Beck's going to stay seated.
I would ask for us all to remain seated, and could you remind everybody in the gallery
Yes.
That there should be no emotional reactions?
I was just about to address that, sir. Thank you
Everyone
very much.
remain seated.
All right,
That's
members
fair.
of the jury,
She is
my
staying
understanding, or
shackled.
members of the gallery, good evening. My understanding is that the jury in this matter has reached a verdict.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be until it's read. If you are unable to contain yourself emotionally, and you're going to react in any way, be it in joy or in sadness,
Displeasure.
I'm going to ask you politely to excuse yourself at this time.
No reactions in
There
court.
cannot be any emotional outbursts when the verdict is read. Does everybody understand that? I see everybody nodding their heads. Okay. State, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
Bring the jury. Bring the jury.
All right. That's them buzzing for the jury. We are live in real time, and we are waiting for the verdict to come in. How are y'all feeling? A little nervous? A little nervous waiting for a jury? It's real hard when you're the lawyer in court. Your heart rate goes up, and you're sitting there going, and you just have to sit there still and look down. Do you see the prosecutors looking at the table? That's it. You sit there and look down. You don't even necessarily want to watch the jurors' faces as they come in. I'm going to see if Sarah Boone does, because sometimes you can tell if the jurors' eyes go immediately to the victim's family, which sometimes happen in court, you can get a sense for what they're thinking based on how they enter the courtroom. And so I'm not surprised that the lawyers have their heads down. I would expect Sarah to be looking directly at the jury as they come in. But
State, do you recognize our jury?
there they are.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? All right, members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you.
This will probably go pretty fast. The court
Members
will
of our
review the
jury,
verdict
good evening.
forms.
I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand
they all said
the
yes.
verdict form to the deputy, please.
I imagine he'll poll this jury. Did you hear numerous voices say yes?
Thank you, sir.
The court
Madam Clerk,
will
if you could
review,
please publish the verdict.
and she's going to read it right now.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit in Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. The verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree.
Guilty, count
as
one.
charged in the information.
And that's that.
So say we all dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Sarah
Madam
Boone,
Clerk,
guilty,
please
count
poll
one.
our jury.
And now they'll be
Juror
polled.
seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 3, is this your true and
Yes, it
correct
is.
verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
That
Members of
juror
our jury,
was
again,
pissed.
I want to thank you
Did
for
you
your
hear
time,
him?
your sacrifice,
Woo!
and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together,
We're gonna run
and
that
it was
back
not
later.
taken
That juror
lightly,
was
and I really
pissed.
appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors.
You don't
No
have to go to
juror
jury
can ever be
service?
required to talk about the discussions that
true.
occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak to anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media,
That's
from the
an
attorneys,
interesting
or
instruction.
elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that, members of the jury, again, I thank you for your service. I'm going to ask you return to the deliberation room. I'll be back there shortly with your jury certificates, and thank you.
I'll be back there shortly. And then we're going to be on the record to set a scheduling date unless he does it now. And he might do it now. They had to have prepared her for this when this verdict came back this fast.
Ms. Boone, the jury has spoken in this matter and has found you guilty of murder in the
Forcefully.
second degree. The court adjudicates you guilty of murder in the second degree. As this is your first felony conviction, you are entitled to a pre-sentencing investigation by the Department of Corrections. Mr. Owens, are you seeking that in this case?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll take some time.
State, I will order the Department of Corrections to prepare the
PSR.
pre-sentencing investigation. State, for the purposes of
PSI.
sentencing, do you anticipate eliciting any testimony from, be it the victims family?
2 or 3 victim impact statements, sir.
Okay. Mr. Owens, do you plan on presenting any evidence during the course of the sentencing hearing, sir?
Probably some testimony from Dr. Harper.
Okay, all right. How long do you think,
I'll
State,
answer
that you would
questions
need?
after this.
You mean timing-wise, or are we thinking?
A quantum of time, sir. Yeah, well, normally it takes about 30 days or so.
Quantum of
I'm
time.
confirming with Anita as to availability. I just want to know from your side of the ledger, how much time? Okay, 15 minutes. How much time do you think you're going to need to produce anything from your side of the ledger, sir? Mr. Owens?
I'd say 30 minutes.
Okay.
30 to 45.
So if we set this for an hour, that would be sufficient.
Parties agree.
Okay.
State agrees.
Is that sufficient, Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Okay, all right, give me a moment.
So they're trying to find a date more than 30 days out where they have an hour. The PSI is done by probation parole department, and it evaluates the crime, Sarah Boone. They interview her. We see it in quite a lot of cases. So it's a report that's conducted by the Department of Corrections before she is sentenced. It's not been done before because this is her first felony conviction, actually. Let me gain that back up. That was better. So it is a report that is done by the Department of Corrections because she's not had one done before. It's going to take them about 30 days. So that's what that report is. The prosecution will also make a sentencing recommendation either by memorandum or verbally in court. They will have 2 to 3
Ms.
victim
Barrios is
impact
checking.
statements.
Just give us a moment.
They said 15 minutes for those statements. It might take longer. The defense said they might have Dr. Harper come in. I don't know if they actually will at the end of the day, but might as well reserve the time in case you want to. And then Sarah will have the opportunity at sentencing to make a statement to the court. And then the court will have an opportunity to make a statement about this case. For those of you asking what she is facing, her minimum sentence is 22 and a half years. Her maximum is life.
We
So
can
the
set this matter for
judge has that
1:30 in the
range.
afternoon for sentencing on December 2. State, is that acceptable?
All right.
It's a Monday.
I have a status hearing, but I'll make it work.
I can move it to later if necessary.
I'm co-counsel on it.
Okay, defense.
Give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
I saw a
That's
couple.
Monday, December 2 at 1:30?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I can be here.
All right. Sentencing
Ma'am,
will
you've been
be
adjudicated
December
guilty. I now
2nd.
remand you into the custody of the Orange County Jail pending sentencing on December 2 at 1:30. State, anything else we need to address?
Now for the state.
Defense. All right, thank you very much. We're off the record.
She will stay in jail until she is sentenced and then will be transferred to the prison. So that is the end. That was exactly 6 days of evidence. The opening statement started last Friday, closing arguments this Friday, and they convicted in under an hour and a half. Time to eat dinner, time to discuss the case, and then they are going to talk to the judge, and then the jury will be able to leave and decide what they want to do. Again, I see a lot of you saying Sarah should have taken the plea deal. I don't think Sarah agrees. I still think Sarah Boone is going to see this as everyone doesn't understand. Nobody understands. Nobody sees it the way she does. And I don't know if that impression will change. But the judge will probably have some words about it. And we heard, I'll rewind it, but we heard when the jurors were polled how forcefully and quickly those jurors said, yes, this is our verdict. So I will answer some of your questions and then we will wrap this up. For those of you just tuning in, that verdict came back about an hour and a half, guilty on second-degree murder, which was the main charge here. And I think this jury felt pretty strongly about it based on all of that. So with that, the state had offered her a manslaughter for a maximum of 15 years. The max on manslaughter is 15 years, so a max plea deal. And well, that's the end of that feed. They're like, yep, we're out. No. Give me 1 second. I imagine another feed is still running. Hold on. The way I feel attacked by that feed just noping right out. Absolutely attacked by the feed just ending on us unceremoniously. Hold on. I know there are other feeds. Let me just go grab it from Court TV. A lot of the feeds have tickers on the bottom, and that is not my favorite. But tickers are better than advertisements, so we will take that because I do want to rewind and hear what that juror had to say. So thank you for your patience as we switch back to live court now. I appreciate you, Leonard. So there we go. Back in live court. But I do want to, I was like, damn it, I wanted to rewind. It's so aggressive. Also, she wants to talk to her attorney and is sitting there talking to her attorney. So that is what is going on. So all right. Oh, the tickers. I cannot. Miguelina, if you, thank you. Thank you, Miguelina. I appreciate it. No tickers. Yay. But Sarah Boone is being let out, so I will rewind this real quick. Oh, nope. Are they going to fingerprint her before she's let out? Yes, they are. All right. We're going to switch feeds real quick because I literally can't. And we will stay on the feed. Thank you, Miguelina, for grabbing that. I appreciate it. So thank you. And thank you, chat, for being like, yeah, we get it. Sometimes we need to find the feed that works. We're not going to have any audio on this at all. The cameras are cut appropriately, but we'll get to see what finishes out in court. And she's going to end up getting new fingerprints taken. Doesn't look like she said anything to anyone in the audience as she was leaving. And then we'll rewind to hear what the jury, how the jury was polled, right? The jury was just like, whoop. So Deb C asked, will his family speak to the press tonight? I heard they spoke to Court TV this morning. I can go look for that and see. Actually, Miguelina, will you look and see if you see that? I don't know if they'll speak tonight. I don't think I'd want to. This was an over 10-hour day for them. It's an incredibly exhausting day. So I wouldn't want to speak to the media after after that long of a day. This is a long day. So she's getting re-rolled on her fingerprints. I just want to see if she tries to hug the deputy. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's where I'm at. I couldn't believe some of that body cam footage that we saw. So I am just, we're gonna see what's happening. She would have been fingerprinted originally. She's being re-fingerprinted tonight. So that is what they are doing. She does not seem all that flustered, truly. So, Miguelina, is there one from this morning? And back to the seal of the great state of Florida. Great seal of the state of Florida. At some point we're gonna have to take a poll of the best seals that we have seen, because there have been some great ones. So this one doesn't have a badger on it, though. I do like the palm trees. So we're going to have to do that. So is there one, Miguelina, is there one from this morning? I definitely don't want to go to a press conference. I don't think there is going to be a press conference this evening, but if we see the one from this morning, that would be amazing. So thank you. Chat, don't worry, we'll grab it. And then I'll answer some questions. And I told you I would catch you back up on where we're at with the counter. Don't worry, chat. We will. I told you, I said, are we going to get to 800K before the verdict or not? And I said, I thought verdict before. We're very close, but I thought verdict before. So verdict before 800K, which, chat, it is fine. I will let Griffin know that we are close, but I will also get to hang out with him tonight. So let me see real quick. Miguelina, I will double check on and see if it's at the top of their feed today too. So if you look there, I'll look at the top of their feed and we will see if we have that from this morning, because it might be on today's feed. It might not. Let's see. So I'm going to take a peek at today's feed real quick. The 12-hour feed from today. It's not at the top of that feed. So that's that. Not at the top of today's feed, but we'll find it. As I was looking, and we used that final feed from Trial TV Live, brought to you by Top Mark Media, which was very helpful. Thank you. We didn't use it the whole trial just because closed captioning. Owens makes a statement. All right, let's go see what Owens has to say, shall we? I think we shall. Chat, shall we? Lawnards, we're here. It's Friday night. I haven't done a Friday Night Live since my kid got into high school. So since we have not done a Friday Night Live since then, let's just take a minute and do that. So Owens is speaking outside of court now. Thank you, Miguelina, my incredible producer, for grabbing that for me. And we will go to that press conference. I will back up so we are in real time, and we'll go to Owens's statements to the media shortly. This is why I don't do live news. I don't have the WFLA Stream Center with, JB, but we've got the Baker Media Stream Center. So that's what we're doing. All right, let's see how long it takes for him to get outside of court. I don't know if this was today because it is not nighttime. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't look like it is. Oh, no, this was a long feed outside of court. It is nighttime. Sorry, I backed up way too far. My bad. I backed up incredibly far. So that is 100% on me. Let's see what, what if anything.
Hi, you know who I am?
Oh, I don't know if,
Ooh, that was the prosecutor. Botched that one.
yeah, if prosecutor
Botched that one. That was the prosecutor, folks.
really didn't love that.
Do you know who I am?
I have no idea who you are. But that's okay. The prosecutor was just like, what the fuck, man?
Do you plan to appeal?
He's like, I'm the prosecutor. Why would I
Do
appeal?
you think your client received a fair trial?
Client, you know who I am?
Ooh, that was the prosecutor.
I don't have a client. Do you know who I am?
Watch that one. That was the prosecutor.
Thank you, chat. YouTuber, but that's interesting.
that one.
I don't know who this is, chat. So no, I do not.
Thoughts of justice.
Oh no, don't harass the victim's family. Nope. I just want to see if Owens makes a statement.
Any comment, Detective Ketzel? No. Thank you.
But the prosecutor is not wrong. Do you know who I am? So we're gonna.
A fair trial.
We wanted to get to. Oh, he didn't even get out the
On
door.
the verdict, do you feel like it was a fair trial?
That's rough.
Disappointed. Sarah's disappointed. But we feel like she's got a couple of pretty good appellate issues. And just, Sarah's plight's not over. So I'm sure, as y'all know, she's a fighter. I'm sure she'll be filing an appeal. But we're going to present some...
I wanted to hear what the defense had to say. Did you notice what he said? I'm sure she will be filing an appeal. He did not say, I will be filing an appeal. He didn't say that at all. He did not say at all, I will be filing appeal. Mr. Owens is done with this case the moment that this sentencing is done. The moment it's done.
Getting evidence. I think Dr. Harper will be testifying at the sentencing that I think is set early December 2nd, 1:30. So we'll be back up here for the sentencing. And hopefully Dr. Harper can go in a little more depth about some of the other issues, the mental health issues that Sarah suffers from. And hopefully the court will consider that, and then we'll go from there.
What do you think the appropriate sentence should be? What do you think the appropriate sentence should be?
Well, of course I'm biased, so
Right.
I don't want to say because right now,
It's fair.
the judge has to make the call, and so I don't want to try to impose on his responsibility as the judge to ultimately decide what's a fair and appropriate
Well, that's a
sentence.
measured
So I
statement,
don't
Mr.
feel,
Owens.
right to say anything right now.
Did you talk to Sarah afterward, and what'd she say?
Just shocked. She's shocked. She felt like, she had a defense, as you know, and so she just...
She ran a
was
defense.
shocked. She said she would call me tomorrow morning, so we'll talk some more after she's had some time to think
think that's
about
probably
it. I've had
right.
some time to think about it, but we're obviously really disappointed. We did the best that we could, in the time that we had to prepare.
Sir,
Sarah really liked the team.
This was
and
not
we-
about the
we
time
all
that
got
you
along
had.
with the 3 lawyers and the other 2 girls that have helped the other lawyer, 4 lawyers working on the case.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah was, as you know, really happy with us. And, we had some disagreements.
Mr. Owens, we would like you to call all the attorneys by their names and not their genders, please.
About
Thanks.
how the case should proceed.
Lawyers,
And
all the
Sarah,
lawyers.
is opinionated, and some of the things we considered, some not. But ultimately, I think she was happy.
I'm going to back this up real quick. She's opinionated is the part.
And Sarah was, as you know, really happy with us. And, we had some disagreements about how the case should proceed. And Sarah, is opinionated, and some of the things we considered, some not. But ultimately, I think she was happy with the defense. It just didn't go our way. As you know, these trials, a murder charge is a difficult case to beat. And there was some strong evidence that the state used, obviously. And we just, for whatever reason, the jury didn't consider some of the things that we felt like should have potentially been defenses.
So I will take a moment to say, Owens has not even gotten all the way out of the door. You can see the door open to the side. He has not even gotten all the way out of the door from the courthouse before there were cameras and multiple news microphones in his face. But I will say the jury didn't consider for some reason. Sir, I think the jury probably did consider. They just didn't agree. So I think they just didn't agree. Truly.
Justifiable use of force under the battered spouse syndrome, but for whatever reason, you know, we respect the jury's decision. You know, they've been here for
It's a measured statement.
2 weeks. It took us 4 days to pick the jury. And so I'm sure they did the very best that they could.
The lighting's great, though.
Was it her decision to not take the plea deal? Or do you think she regrets it now?
I don't think he can talk about that. That's very much attorney-client privilege.
She would have taken anything.
I think that's probably right.
Some clients, they want their day in court, and I don't believe she would have taken
And
anything.
she wanted that defense.
I felt like the state should have probably negotiated a little bit more, but they were firm on where they were, and Sarah was firm on where she was. I just think
that's measured.
she was convinced in her mind that that she felt like, obviously she felt like she didn't intend to kill George.
Accurate.
And that this was just...
It's a second-degree murder. Intent to kill is not the crime, is the thing. And so I'm sure she felt like she didn't intend to kill George. I don't know if she did intend to kill George. I don't think she went into that intending to kill George. I think she went, fuck it, stay there. That's the second-degree murder. So agreed. I think what she doesn't perceive is that you don't have to have that intent, sir. So I agree with him. I think his statements are very measured, though. I think he's been very careful. And I actually think his statement to the press here, though I don't agree with all of it, is more linear and easier to follow than his entire closing.
A circumstance, because they were both intoxicated, things happened that, it was just really unintentional act. So I think she felt bad about any kind of a murder conviction or pleading to any kind of a murder, that she was somehow criminally responsible for George's death. And I think that's where her mindset was.
I think he's right on that.
I think she would have gone to trial even without lawyers. She was ready to go to trial pro se. I think she was happy we came in. We worked as hard as we could. We had about 45 days to get ready, and we did all that we could. So I think she feels good about our efforts.
They put in a lot of effort.
So we put everything out on the table, just like any other contest. You do the very best you can, and then you have to accept, the decision by the jury. We respect the jury and appreciate their time and attention on the case.
I think those are
Will you be representing her on her appeal?
No, I think those are incredibly measured statements. I also think he did a very good job of expressing what he believed Sarah Boone's mindset to be without stepping into attorney-client privilege conversation. Where was this Owens in court? Owens, could you have just talked to the jury like this?
No, I'll be.
I'm going to back that up. The question was, will you be representing Sarah Boone on appeal? We already knew that was the answer.
It's
a no.
Put everything out on the table, just like any other contest. You do the very best you can, and then you have to accept, the decision by the jury. We respect the jury and appreciate their time and attention on the case.
Will you be representing her on her appeal?
No, I'll be representing her at her sentencing, but not the appeal. I think she would qualify since she's indigent for court-appointed appellate counsel. And those guys, that's all they do is appellate work. And
appellate work.
Probably the best lawyers to handle something like that. But
I don't disagree with him on that either.
We're, as I said, really disappointed. Sarah is kind of in shock. But, we respect the jury's decision.
A measured statement.
All right.
I think that was a measured statement to the media from Owens.
All right, thank you, man.
He didn't intend to give a press statement. The media was just there at the door. He didn't even get out of the door. It doesn't seem that there's even a bundle of the microphones. It just seemed that he got swarmed. And I think very measured statements given that.
Where? Elder, where? All right, let me just put my stuff right here.
And then the journalist for whatever channel that is saying, can you come over here to give another statement, which doesn't surprise me. But normally you have a media bay outside of the courthouse, so it's not chaos. So you normally have a media bay, so it's not chaos. So as they're moving, I'm going to zoom in this a little bit because otherwise I'll just get motion sick looking at cameras walking, honestly. But generally, courthouses have a designated media area where you can do press conferences. So I'm surprised that everybody just wasn't there. Let's resume a media, like an area, like a media space, like a media, I say bay, like a loading bay, but like a little media area where they go. So give me 1 second because it looks like the other attorney gives a statement. I'm going to look for one other feed. Thank you, Miguelina. From we've got some there. I saw microphones from some other outlets out there, and I wanted to see if they had any angles on the second attorney speaking. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between feeds a little bit. I am definitely not as good at this as Hey JB over at WFLA, but you know, it's a dynamic evening, and we're dynamic streamers because streaming is what, everybody? Dynamic. So let's go see what the other attorney has to say from one of the local media outlets. Thank you for grabbing this feed, Miguelina, because we can actually see the other attorney a little bit better. So I'm going to zoom to get to his statement because we can actually see his face. So I'm going to switch feeds real quick, and we will be right back with the statement from the other attorney. So thanks, chat, for the patience as we find you. The best in breaking news, even though we're not a breaking news channel. Today, Nightbot is like, Emily, what are we doing? Why are we doing breaking news? Nightbot, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. So let's see what the other attorney has to say to the media pool on the other side of court. Oh boy. Get those microphones up there, folks.
Sitting in all these lenses. That's what we're saying. Okay.
We got some shoulders on that.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right. All right. So today, as many of you know, Sarah Boone was convicted of second-degree murder of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres Jr. You know, these events happened stem from an incident from February 23rd of 2020, where she zipped her boyfriend up in a suitcase.
Those mics
and
are
what
tough.
she claimed to be a game of hide and seek.
That's also mono
and
chat.
2 videos were introduced from her where he was begging for his life, and a horrific turn of events. And she didn't try to let him out.
I don't think this is anyone from the defense team because it's not anybody that we've seen in court. And his button says love shouldn't hurt. He has not identified himself, but I wonder if he was there, for the event that was at lunch, because there was some domestic violence awareness. So he might be one of the DV advocates, because, well, I'm guessing that from his button, he did not introduce himself, but maybe we'll see.
She
I don't know.
didn't do anything to help him. She just went upstairs and went to sleep. And so this is a very horrific homicide. Nobody really should have to endure this type of struggle and fight for their lives and have to die alone.
But he's mic'd up and ready to
for
go.
their last breath inside of a suitcase like this. And the jury did amazing work. I'm thankful for our chief of homicide, Will J, and our assistant state attorney, Dave Cacciatore. They did amazing work. Some of you caught me in the courtyard. I was like, I get briefings about it every single day about what they've been doing. But we're excited that they were able to bring this home.
Is he the elected DA?
With a
Thank you,
victory,
chat.
because today justice was served with the conviction of Sarah Boone for this very horrific homicide that occurred. And so if you have any questions, I'm going to turn it over to them.
He's like, no need to, no need to introduce myself. He's the elected DA of Orange County. Well, that is helpful. I didn't read the ticker. State Attorney Andrew Bain, Orange and Osceola counties. I apologize if I pronounce that wrong, Florida. Sorry about the audio. It's on site, but he is the state attorney. So the elected DA for this area. There we go. The news channel has us all hooked up.
The argument clearly
He's their
the
boss.
jury did not buy it. The argument was self-defense and battered spouse.
Correct. And so we're going to turn over to Will and Dave to ask all specific questions.
It sounds like somebody's mic is not on.
They did all the great work, so they deserve all the
Could
good
you
credit.
step up a little bit? Thank you. Yeah, so like
Look, Fox 35, I see you all holding your mic there. I see you all holding your mic, Fox 35. Did you turn it on? Because come on. Chat, I know. I can see why y'all would vote for him. The chat's like, we love this DA.
And can we speak about that? I know the jury obviously did not buy that. They came down with that second-degree murder charge.
Correct, yeah.
Well, how does that make you feel? Did you get a chance to speak to them?
He's like, the jury did not believe the defense. He's like, and? This is why DAs don't talk to the media. He's like, yes, and? Do you have a question?
Family, Jorge Torres.
Yes, we're very happy to gain some closure for the Torres family and some justice for George.
Strong closing arguments from the both of you today. What do you think, like she said, this case means for the family and getting justice for George Torres?
Why are you on a potato? Why are you on a potato? Why are you on a potato? Why are you recording on a potato?
I think after 4.5 years and the numerous delays, I think they were finally just happy to see this case go to trial and be able to put this one in the books.
What do you think the appropriate sentence should be?
We'll reserve comment to the sentencing hearing.
He's like, nope.
Do you expect the verdict to come back that quickly? I think it was an hour and 20-something minutes. Very fast.
The question is,
Did you never have expectations?
The question from the media was, did you expect the verdict to come back that fast? We don't have expectations. We don't have expectations. What do you think the sentence should be? We'll reserve comment. He's just like, nope.
What do you think about the case law with respect to Martinez? I know there was a strongly worded letter you all signaled you would be sending. Is that right for judicial review higher up?
Can't really talk about future legal arguments.
This is my favorite interview by a DA ever. We can't really talk about future legal arguments. Look, the elected DA is the only person you want to interview on this. They're just like, we have been in court for 15 hours today, and I need a Snickers. The 3-word answers are sending me.
How was it in the courtroom between you and James Owens? There was obviously moments of tension and then also moments of levity. Was this different than
the question is, there were moments of tension and levity with you and James Owens?
I wouldn't say it was different than a different relationship than with most defense attorneys.
What would you say to the jurors who were here for about 2 weeks on this case? It was a long jury selection and then, of course, a lot of evidence to look at and all of that. What would you want to say to them?
Just thank them for their service.
What would you like to say to this?
Will, did you know that it was George Torres' mother who broke down in court today, and that was the reason for the bit of an outburst?
I was made aware afterwards. It happens in these cases.
He was made aware who was upset in court afterwards.
How about you, Dave?
I spoke to her along with the rest of the Torres family after the verdict and just listened to them.
A strong rebuttal yesterday from you guys. What do you think that evidence showed the jurors?
Did you catch what she just said? Did you catch what this reporter just said? I know that the audio is tough, but did you catch what she just said? She said a strong rebuttal from you guys yesterday. Ma'am, we are still on the same day. It might have felt like yesterday, but it was just about 2 hours ago. For any of you in the chat that are like, Emily, I can't hear, this audio is coming through to us on mono. So if you only have one headphone in, you might not be able to hear the interview. Apologies, potato, but I also wanted to hear their interview. So we're going to suffer with the potato.
And meant for this case.
Not going to really talk about the evidence.
He said, I'm not going to talk about the evidence.
Are you stunned that she did not take that plea deal?
Are you stunned she didn't take the plea deal?
It's not for us to say.
It's not for us to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
They cannot get out of there fast enough.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bring back the elected DA, man.
Thank you.
He's incredibly charismatic.
Covering the case.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that was very loud. Nope. We're going to nope right out of whatever was happening there next. I'm going to take a peek and see if there's anything else on this feed. And I know we will be looking to see if there are any other feeds that have some of that interview with any better audio. And it looks like we do. It's a different angle. Chat, I'll let you vote. Do you want to see if we go to those interviews from a different angle to see if we have better audio? Do we just do it? Do we run that back again? And just, why not? I mean, we'll timestamp it down below. Y'all can, the replay crew can just get replay crew. You can just skip it. Do we just run that back again? Warren is like, no, we want the sub counter. Okay, sub counter and then run that back again? And then like throw that down again and then go to the jurors again? Okay. We will run this from another feed to see if we can get some better audio. But I have been told that first, upon pains, we must let you guys know where we are at. That is completely fair. That is completely fair. We are at almost 800,000 subscribers. So yes, we are going to go to the sub counter. I think Warren was probably watching the sub counter and he's like, if you don't go there now, when we're about to hit 800,000, we can't celebrate together. So yes, that was here. Thank you, W, for the chat. Chat. I've got to pretend I'm a streamer for a minute. Chat. Poggers in the chat. I can't. Thank you guys. I appreciate seeing the I was here when. It's great. And then we will go back to the other interviews. We are checking feeds. I'll go check the Court TV feed to see if they have a little bit more of the Owens interview. We'll check out some more of the interviews. We've got a little bit of time to do that. So don't worry. We've got some time to do that. I know, not poggers. You guys, there it goes. There it goes. Aurora said I was here at 100K. Happy to be here at 800K. I mean, we are almost there. So we will celebrate together. Thank you, chat. You were here. You showed up for a verdict watch. We've also got a sub counter watch. We've got all the things happening. A lot of you were probably here when we hit 500K. So do not worry. We're going to look for all the interviews. Chat, the team is looking for those. So do not worry. We're not going anywhere just yet. We're gonna throw that down again. So thank you. Should we play a little of our stretch music? Should we just take a stretch real quick and just let it roll? That's happening, chat. There we go. I mean, there we go. That's wild. That's gonna happen. So thanks, chat. We're gonna do the thing. We're just gonna let the thing happen. We're just gonna let it happen. Somebody in the chat said unsubbing due to poggers. I mean, sometimes we have to pretend we're a real streamer. Thanks, chat. With over 20,000 of you on stream, we can make things happen. So for those of you just coming in, we've heard the verdict. Don't worry, we're gonna run it back again. We're gonna go to some of the interviews again, and we're just gonna kind of double up. So our music, we'll just do it one more time, just a little bit. Because here we go, chat. Thanks, everybody. It happened. Woohoo! Oh my God, Jen in the Jen. There's so many of you that know what some of these inside jokes mean. First of all, Lawnards, thank you. This community is incredible, and I love spending time here. Ice Baby said I'm almost as old as Linda's clam. The inside jokes from the members only live streams are 10 out of 10. Are absolutely 10 out of 10. So, Law Nerds, we binged. Congratulations to all of us. We are maybe real YouTubers now. We're going to ask Griffin if we're actually real YouTubers. So, Miguelina, some of the chat said that Court TV had a longer interview with Owens, but I don't see it on their feed either. I don't know if it's elsewhere on the YouTube. It might be, it might not be, but we need to celebrate because you guys, we binged at 800K. Thank you, Law Nerds. That's yay! We did it. Oh, it binged. Move your head. Ah! Thanks, Law Nerds. I will make sure to let you know what Griffin thinks. We're going to run this back from a different angle and then see if we can find that interview. I wonder if it's on, it might be on their website. And if it is on their website, then that is going to be, let's see. This was from Julie's show this morning. Hold on. This is from Julie's show this morning. This is not outside of court. Let's go to what the victim's family had to say with Julie briefly this morning. We're not going to go through the entire interview because, again, these are proprietary to Court TV, but we'll go into the brief part. Court feeds, no. News feeds, no. But this is an exclusive interview over on Court TV's channel. So we will do that. We'll do just a part of that interview with some commentary from Julie. And then if you guys want to watch the rest of that, that will be over on Court TV. But we will go into a little bit of that to see what they have to say. And then we will go from there. There's always so much stuff on the screen.
With her this morning, her youngest daughter, Destiny. First of all, my heart goes out to all of you, and for all of us here at Court TV, we are so sorry for your loss. Thank you for coming on the show, and I know that you really want to clear the air. And Anna Victoria, I know you've wanted to kind of be the family spokesperson, so I want to start with you, please. The way that your dad has been depicted as being an abuser in this trial, I know that it has upset you and you felt it's very unfair. Tell us why.
This is a tough question. Tell us why. I think the whole chat has been yelling this through most of this trial, how frustrating it is. But I appreciate that she gave the victim's family an opportunity to say the way that your father has been portrayed is enraging. Can you... what would you like to say about that? TV always has a delay. It's kind of rough. Uh-oh. There's no audio.
And unfortunately,
there we go.
We are the voices now, and the way the trial has gone and the way things have taken place have
they're losing audio on this.
Nobody has ever contacted us to hear our story or ask us questions in regards to our father, his character, or the relationship between him and Sarah Boone. Me and my siblings actually spoke to our father that night, and we have a lot of experiences with Ms. Boone that do not speak to what the media is stating she is, a victim or a gentle individual. I'm sure she's loved over there at jail due to the fact that Sarah Boone is very, very calculated. She by no means is a kind and sweet, soft-spoken woman. She is very calculated, very devious, very conniving. My father was sheltered and berated. He was kept from us. He was the real victim in this situation.
And I think after seeing the trial,
as stated, he is not here to tell his story.
A lot of that comes through, right?
We are here to give his side the best we can from the view that we were able to see things.
And I'm sure it's really frustrating for them.
One of the videos that we've all seen.
I definitely don't want to hear her ask them about the videos. I will preview this and maybe we will talk about it a bit later. I think the fact that they talked to him that night and law enforcement never contacted them is frustrating because the conversation they had with their father that night should have been discussed. And they know that he called his daughters. They had the phone records from Sarah Boone's phone. So it's frustrating that detectives did not talk to them. But we will take a look at the rest of that. I want to see how the questioning goes about asking them about those videos, because that's really, really tough. So we will see. I will preview that before just rolling it in the chat, because, or rolling it on stream, because I really do want to preview that, because that's incredibly sad. But I think we will also see the victim impact statements. Hopefully we will hear from them in the victim impact statements and see that. So let's go to a different angle. We said we were going to, and then we are going to go back to court. Let me pull that up real quick, because we're going to go to a different angle from that interview, and then we'll go back to court today for what the jury had to say when they had their verdict read in. So we'll go back to that in just a moment. Let me cue that up real quick, because when that verdict came down, and we'll replay the verdict coming down, it was incredibly fast when the verdict came down. So we will replay that after the jury comes in. Let me make sure I've got that queued up. So thank you, chat. I will get that queued up, and then we will go to those interviews, and then we will go to court. So let us go first to another angle from those interviews that we saw. Hopefully the audio is better. But again, live news is dynamic. Look, standing outside the Diddy court, people were like just pushing through each other to get up in the face of whoever was giving a press conference. In person like this is absolutely straight wild. I would be the worst news reporter. I'm not going to go shove a microphone in somebody's face. I can't. But it wild. Even outside some of the Britney hearings, it was absolutely wild.
Her boyfriend up in a suitcase, and what she claimed to be
it's a bit better.
Game of hide and seek, and 2 videos were introduced from her where he was begging for his life, and they were horrific turn of events, and she didn't try to let him out. She didn't do anything to help him. She just went upstairs and went to sleep.
So this is a different angle on those earlier audio interviews.
One like a very horrific homicide. Nobody really should have to endure this type of struggle,
abuse,
fight for their lives, and have to die alone, begging for their last breath inside of a suitcase like this.
This is the elected DA of this county.
The jury did amazing work. I'm thankful for our chief homicide, Will J, and our assistant state attorney, Cacciatore. They did amazing work. Some of you caught me in the courtyard. I was like, I get briefings about it every single day, what they've been doing. But we're excited that they were able to bring this home with a victory, because today justice was served with the conviction of Sarah Boone for this very horrific homicide that occurred. And so, if you have any questions, I'm going to turn it over to this.
The defense's argument, clearly the jury did not buy it. The argument was self-defense and battered self-defense.
Correct. And so we're going to
So Andrew Bain
and Dave to ask all specific questions, asking all the defenses, and just because they did all the great work.
I'm trying not to say it like something out of a movie. Bain.
Yeah, so like the defense didn't speak about that. I know the jury obviously did not buy that. They came from
Correct.
how does that make you feel? Did you guys?
Honestly, I don't even care about the questions at this point. We did try to hear them earlier. The 3-sentence answers are what I am absolutely living for. So Andrew Bain's the elected DA we just heard from. These are the 2 DAs that we've seen in court. So I'm living for the The jury obviously didn't believe Sarah Boone's defense. Correct. I'm living for their answers.
Yes, we're very happy to gain some closure for the Torres family and some justice for George.
Strong closing arguments from the both of you today.
Yes.
What do you think, like she said, this case means for the family and getting justice for George Torres?
It means justice.
I think after 4.5 years and the numerous delays, I think they were finally just happy to see this case go to trial and
I think so too.
be able to put this one in the books.
What do you think the appropriate sentence should be?
We'll reserve comment to the sentencing hearing.
Do you expect the
Sending me.
that quickly? I think it was an hour and 20-something minutes. Very fast.
Should never have expectations.
What do you think about the case law with respect to Martinez? I know.
What did you expect with how fast the verdict would come back? We never have expectations. And this is about the case law Martinez that they said they were going to send a strongly worded letter to the Supreme Court.
There was a strongly worded letter you all signaled you will be sending. Is that right for judicial review higher up?
Thank you, Peachy
Can't really
Brows.
talk about future legal arguments.
Peachy Brows in the chat said, point of clarification, Bain was appointed, not elected. I defaulted to Californian, where the DA election is underway right now, in my former office. So I apologize. I did not realize he was the appointed DA. It's so common for me to say elected DA. It's also probably the appointed state's attorney for their circuit. So apologies, but yes, the appointed DA. However, I think the chat is going to vote for him either way. Even if they can't, they're voting for him at this point.
Moments of tension and then also moments of levity. Was this different than a typical battle that you go into?
They're asking about
I wouldn't say it was
the interaction between them and the defense attorney. Says it was normal.
a different relationship than with most defense attorneys.
What would you say to the jurors who were here for about 2 weeks on this case? It was a long jury selection and then, of course, a lot of evidence to look at and all of that. What would you want to say to them?
Thank them for their service.
Will, did you know that it was George Torres' mother who broke down in court today, and that was the reason for the bit of an outburst?
I was made midway afterwards. It happens in these cases.
Do you have a chance to talk to her and say something to her?
I have not yet.
How about you, Dave?
I spoke to her along with the rest of the Torres family after the verdict. Just listen to them.
A strong rebuttal yesterday from you guys. What do you think
Today.
that evidence
That rebuttal was
showed
today.
the jurors and meant for this case?
Not going to really talk about the evidence.
Final question for me is, are you stunned that she did not take that plea deal?
It's not for us to say.
I love this interview so much.
Thank you.
It's not for us to say.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry. You guys been here for a long time, a couple weeks, but thank you for coming. And thank you for covering the case.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming and thanking us. Can you say get in the car, counsel? Can we get in the car? So with that, we are done with interviews in court or outside of court for the evening. We're going to go back and replay the jury coming in. I think all of you are like, Orange County, Florida, hey. I get, chat, I get you. I get it. I saw y'all discussing my husband looking like Tom Skerritt earlier today. I saw it. I'm not mad at it, but he is going to be insufferable about it. Just insufferable. So, all right, get in the car, Elizabeth. Let us go to court and rewatch this verdict coming in because we are going to replay what the jury said when they were polled. The chat's thirsty tonight. It's late. Everyone's a little dehydrated from trial.
Bring the jury.
Thirst is natural. Everyone's dehydrated from trial. So let's go to court one more time and listen to this verdict coming in. All right. I think I've got it queued up in the right spot. So we're going to share screen. Is this the right one? Yes. How many different feeds are we switching between? The answer is all. The answer is all of the feeds.
There cannot be any emotional outbursts when the verdict is read. Does everybody understand that? I see everybody nodding their heads.
The judge is making
Okay.
sure. Kids,
State, are we ready to bring in our jury?
behave.
Defense, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
Bring the jury.
Oh, I forgot how loud that was. That beeps twice. Ah, I thought I was clear. Sorry to everyone that's wearing headphones. All right. Jury is coming in now.
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, I do.
All right, members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you.
He said we're going to remain seated, and they're still like, wait, you're supposed to stand when answering the judge, but he told us to remain seated. Shit, I don't know what to do. You could see it. You could see the dissonance.
Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please.
And then that goes to the court clerk, and the court clerk will publish the verdict by reading it in.
Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
Yes, I'm going to go watch the World Series after this. Go Dodgers.
Case number 2020 CF 2603, the state of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Listen to this polling.
Number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 3, is this your true
Yes,
and
it
correct
is.
verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Members.
Owens was looking at that entire jury, that jury that we just heard give their answers, and he still called the female attorneys on his team the girls. Sir, juror number 3 was so emphatic. Is this your verdict? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I wonder if this jury was offended by some of the arguments made by the defense. So that was a animate polling of the jury. They were not shy about how they felt with this case. And I'm not surprised truly by that in any way. So we saw the verdict come in. We saw the polling come in. We saw the interviews outside of court. We saw a portion of the victim's family interview. But if they're going to ask the victims about the videos we saw in court, what we're not doing tonight. Another time we will do that. So let's do a quick summary and let's get to your super chats, and then let's all just it's enough work for this evening. Let's all just bounce on out, have dinner. What we didn't see is EDB having dinner. EDB hasn't had dinner yet, so EDB will be. It's almost 9 o'clock. Well, I mean, at this point, it's like a snack. We will be having dinner. It's just going to be a minute. There was not time. So late on trial day 6 of Florida versus Sarah Boone, the jury came back in about an hour and 30 minutes, a little under that, with a guilty verdict on the only count she was charged with, second-degree murder. The jury was polled. They swiftly recognized is the wrong word. They swiftly acknowledged that that was their verdict with some amount of force in the polling. They're like, yes, it is our verdict. And I think the swiftness of their verdict told us that. We also saw some interviews after court with attorney James Owens, who gave actually a pretty restrained interview, saying that he thought that Sarah Boone really sees this case as that her intent was never to kill Jorge Torres, and that For that reason, he didn't see her ever taking a plea deal. He confirmed that he would not be representing her on appeal. She's been convicted. She has the right to appeal. The sentencing date's been set for December 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern. And at that time, we will see some victim impact statements, possibly a statement from Sarah Boone. She has the right to, possibly a statement from one of her appointed experts, and likely statements about this case from the judge, and find out her sentencing at that time. She is facing 22 and a half years at the minimum, up to life. So the judge is going to have time to evaluate this. They're going to do a pre-sentencing investigation that's done by the Department of Corrections or the Probation Department, depending on how they operate it in Florida. They will do an entire workup of this case, the facts of the case, input from the victim's children, the victim's family, input from medical professionals, input from Sarah Boone, and go from there. And then the prosecution will make a sentencing recommendation either in motion or verbally in court. And the defense will probably ask for 22 and a half years. So that is what is going to happen coming up on December 2nd, 2024. But after a long day, that jury was not going to go over the weekend deliberating this case. And I think that shows you what they thought of the evidence in this case and the defense in this case. So with all of that, we're going to get to your questions. I'm going to grab this question right now because let's see, she's going to serve 85% based on the type of crime it is. So it'll be an 85% crime, and she will serve, or should serve, 85%, unless there are things that happen in custody that that cause her to serve more time. Things can happen in custody that can change that, but generally it's going to be 85%. So thank you all. It has been quite a day. It has been quite a night. I am tired. Nurse Thel said, have you ever heard jurors be apprehensive with their polling or not like they were here today? Not really apprehensive, neutral. But then again, I've also seen, not in my cases, but others, jurors go, wait, what? And you're like, wait, what? It's like, we're reading the verdict, boo. What are you doing? And they're like, wait. And the court is like, are these your verdicts? So I've also seen jurors be like, what am I being asked? But generally, in all of my trials, the juries were polled, and is this your verdict? It's either yes or yes, it is. So that's keeping in line with what I've seen. But the way juror 3 kind of spit that out, it was like the judge didn't even finish his question. I bet you that's a juror that every day was like, yep. I bet it's the same juror. I bet juror number 3 was the same one that every day when the judge was like, you know what's coming, the juror's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know exactly what's coming. Yes, I do. And I'm going to answer it. Loch Nessie, thank you so much for the super chat. Loch Nessie said, thank you for covering a hard topic the way you do. So glad I watched it with you, chat, and the mods. Thank you for all the work you do. Cheers to 800K. Thank you so much. Nameless Musician said, Adam McIntyre pointed me to your channel, and I've loved being a law nerd ever since. Adam is incredibly kind. Thank you. And if you are looking for, we have lots of channels that cover kind of the world of the internet and that are friends of the channel and whose channels I adore. And Adam is absolutely one of them. So thank you. Ryan F. 800K. Congratulations. Thank you. Belly Knits asked, why are there no emotions allowed at the verdict? Will you all indulge me while I tell you a story? Chat, will you indulge me while I tell you a story about why? First of all, it's not appropriate in court. So court is not really the place for outbursts. We have seen this at sentencing hearings. The one that comes immediately to mind is the Darrell Brooks case, where I think somebody yelled something along the lines of rotten hell, you piece of shit, something along there. And the court was like, you need to be excused. Emotions can run high in court anyway. When there are verbal outbursts in court, it can create also a security situation. The defendant has a right to a fair trial. Outbursts can be a problem. In this case, the jury is already in, but brawls have broken out in court. Oftentimes that starts with things being said or expressed, and I mean, there was a day that we were in the offices and we heard the booming of numerous law enforcement officer running down the hall screaming, get down, get down. We were in the office and hit the ground because our wall backed up with that wall. But a massive brawl had broken out into court, and every deputy, it seemed, in the courthouse was going into that courtroom to break out a, I think, 10+ person brawl in the courtroom. So that can happen. I've also had victims' families be jumped after court. So there are high emotions, and when there are high emotions, there can be explosive conflict. And so it does happen. These courts run cases every single day. I'm sure my experiences are not unique. They run these every single day, so it can absolutely be a problem. So that is why the court asks everybody to remain with their decorum, because there is a time to talk in court, and with the time to talk in court, it will be with the impact statements. So what the court doesn't want is people shouting, yelling, crying, or anything like that. So that is why the judge admonishes everyone. Also, one of the victim's family members, and I don't fault them for this, they were escorted out of court because they could not watch the video that was being played. I completely understand why they couldn't, but verbal or visible displays of emotion in court are also not appropriate in court, which is difficult. I see a lot of you asking if Boone will be placed independently on a watch. That's always up to the jail. Some jails, it is a matter of course after a verdict that people are placed more in solitary and watched. And in some courts, it is not, depending on their history and behavior within the jail. So that's up to the jail. Megan says, have you ever lost a case? I had 1 or 2 not guilties and a couple hung verdicts. Some of those hung verdicts felt a lot worse than a not guilty. For me, sometimes with the not guilty, it's like, I showed you the case and you do not believe that this case meets the evidence. And I understand that. So sometimes there are cases that just have to go to trial. Purple Willow Art said, what is the next case that you are covering? I don't know what the next live trial I'll be covering is. I need to go back through the schedule. But if you look at the things I've been covering in Quick Bits and in the Emily Show podcast, you will see those things. So, and the cases that I'm tracking from those, but it's going to be a moment. I believe the Keefe D trial that was supposed to be in November got bumped. There's not going to be much in December that I've been keeping an eye on. Courts tend to be like, whoa, let's circle back in the new year. By the time we get to the end of November, jurors do not like being on jury duty over like Thanksgiving break and winter break. So it's just hey guys, we'll see you in the new year. If the Karen Reed trial goes to trial in January, it might be that. I don't know if it will go in January. Music to My Soul said, what's going on with Donna Adelson? I don't know if they've set a new date, but Charlie's asking for a new trial. So there's a lot going on there. Covered it in Quick Bits. Ryan said, congratulations on 800K. Well-deserved. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be part of it with you. Polly7777 said, I started listening to podcasts at work in 2010 and Kevin and Bean was my first one. So I appreciate the FBI. Thank you. We'll do one more time. Also, the glasses remind me of Pee Wee's Jazz Band for some reason. I can't visualize that, but yes, sure, sure. But there's been a couple Kevin and Bean fans today because we did have a too much information drop earlier. Notice I've been here with you since the Duggar trial and still get giddy when it bings. Thank you guys. It's fun to celebrate the growth of this amazing community, and that's really how I see it. Celebrating the growth of this incredible community, because what I see a lot is that you guys are like, I wish I had found this sooner. I wish I had found this community sooner. And I love this community too. So I understand that. So for all of you in the chat being like, Emily, how are you saying go Dodgers? I grew up in Los Angeles. That's how. Jamie Video says, as her neighbor and someone who has thought of her as guilty since my first interview 5 years ago, I'm so satisfied seeing her finally found guilty. Jamie Videos, That must have been a wild living situation. And if you were one of the testifying witnesses in trial, we really enjoyed all of the neighbors that testified. So welcome and thank you and hello. Nurse Theo said, have you ever had jurors be, we talked about that. And then we told stories. King of Death, was it implied that Sarah was in chains because she was being a nuisance and holding? No, I think it is probably a rule. Here's the thing about procedures that I have learned and law enforcement procedures. They have rules that just apply all the time because the one exception is probably a bad exception. So if there are rules that apply all the time, those are just operational procedures. Every defendant getting a verdict coming in is kept in chains because you never know what people are going to do. Have I had people get disruptive when verdicts come in? Yes. Have I had people run out of the courtroom? Yes. You never know what people are going to do or how they're going to respond. We watched the Judge Jumper trial. You never know what's going to happen. So they have procedures where they're just like, this is what we're doing. I saw a couple of you asking about Corey Richins. That's going to be going to trial in May. There haven't been any streamed hearings. I'll go take a look and see if there's any. We're going to catch up with all of these. Lauren said, in the words of George, it was a great day. Today's a great day to have a great day. I hope the family feels like justice was had. I know that if they haven't been kept in the loop on this, it probably feels incredibly frustrating to them. Maui Love, congratulations on 800K. Love being a law nerd. I love being a law nerd too. Dina said, I'm living for his tie. It is a choice. Allison, thank you very much. And thank you, Peachy Bows, again, for the clarification that the DA was appointed. The chat has voted for him either way. They're just like, vote for Al. The chat's like, I don't live in Florida, but you have my vote. The chat adores the DA's sentiment and statement. And I think face as well. I can see you. Thank you, NC Horse Lover, for the congratulations. Casey Cat, good to see you in the chat. Thanks, Team Baker and Mods, for all you do. We see and appreciate all of you. Some from other countries. You are the wind beneath our wings. They are the wind beneath EDB's wings. That's very true. We can't do this without all of you. Spirit of Tree said, serial lurker here, was here all week. Glad you were here. Sometimes it's not always easy to chat. MB in the chat said, I'm from Sweden. Can I vote? Sure. I mean, we're just making up the rules as we go. I just love you, EDB and law nerds. Smartest, spiciest little devils around. I think so too. Can't watch trials without you. Love your glasses. Thank you. I am very neurospicy. The glasses help most of the time. LA said his only arrest that we're talking about, the victim in this case, was a DUI in 2009. Let's see. We are going to continue going on. SF said, Detvy Heard alum, congratulations, EDB, on all the success. Congratulations, Law Nerd community, on growing. Scott, thank you for saying thank you for making my 3-hour drive bearable. Look, we're here. We're here to chat. Today was a long day. Today was a very, very long day. Joy Daly said, congratulations on 800K. This community is the best. Thank you for your balanced coverage. I try. And when I can't be balanced, I let you know. That's what we can do. By the end of this case, I was like, welp. It's hard to look at her face today. I didn't expect that when we went to court today, but it was. We went to court today, and it was hard to look at Sarah Boone's face when she walked into court. She smiled as the jury came out, and I was like, I wonder how the jury felt with her smiling at them walking out. Do you think the jury felt the same way when they were just like, I don't really want to see your face today, Sarah? DK said, I've been here since 500K celebration or 50K celebration. Proud to be a law nerd. Congrats on 800K. Thank you. I know. Well, we start the channel at 0. And when I started covering law, we were under 10K when I shifted. The members know what we did before. Some tech videos. So I've been on YouTube since I think my first video was 2015. So that's when I was recovering from back surgery, 2016, maybe 2016, and was talking about tech on YouTube and doing some tech streaming with friends, including Miguelina on the production crew, whose channel is Tech Valor. We've done the thing. We've been around the YouTube for a minute, and then I started covering law and was like, ooh, I like this a lot. Ivan, thank you so much. Don't worry, we do lots and lots of content free. Our members only stuff is not case coverage. It is more in-depth talking. Joy Christie remembers my planner videos. We did those too. We did all the things. We did very 2016, 2017 YouTube content. Some tech unboxings, some purse unboxings, some planners, some stickers, some vlogging, a little bit of everything. KRH said, my guess is 1 million during Idaho. Idaho is going to be a very long haul. We are already bracing for what that looks like. Idaho, that's going to be like a 4-month trial. Hopefully the court days aren't as long as this one, because this has been long days. Casey Cat said, we were talking today, B2 and I, we've decided it's been far too long since you've read us a book. That's fair. Next members only, we will do some more book reading story times. It's been a minute. I'm sure Linda is sad. Evie Lee said, I just got back from watching a live jury trial and verdict. Now we see this verdict. Thanks for helping me discover how interesting law can be. Look, you can't make up the stuff that's going to happen in court. You can't at all. You can't at all. So thank you for the congrats on 800K. I saw somebody in the chat say, tell Griffin that Mr. Beast doesn't count. He doesn't watch Mr. Beast anymore. I think some of Griffin's favorite YouTubers right now are Stephen He and Ryan Trahan. He's been watching a lot of their content, and I'm not mad at either of that because I like both of those creators quite a lot. So, but they have M's after their name. And there's a gaming creator that he watches quite a lot whose name is escaping me, who I also like quite a lot because he doesn't scream. So, and I don't know if he's still watching Preston Plays. I'll have to ask. Megan Phillips said, I found you during Dep. Heard now at 800K. I know that was a crazy trial too. It wasn't as long as Idaho is going to be. Idaho is going to be a very long trial. LA said, I was here for Wood Dad, hashtag Wood Daddy Stack. The night we decided to prove that anything could trend on Twitter. And I broke everyone's brain by explaining Real Housewives of Orange County. So you guys, Reed did say, if we hit 1 million, he will personally deliver the play button. So I think we need to do that just so we can make Reed come to Nashville, because that'll be fun. For the members, you guys got to see pictures of me and Reed at the roller skating disco party, the Rhinestone Rodeo. Melissa said, I'm not the lawyer you're looking for. This was Owens after court. Owens is like, no appeal for me. But Sarah Boone does qualify for an appellant public defender, and they do appeals all the time. Most trial lawyers do not also do appeals. Appellate work is incredibly specific. And so a lot of trial lawyers do not also do appeals. And most public defender and DA's office have appellate units, like entire appellate units. So they do that and focus on that. Look, jack of all trades, right? Being good at appellate work and being good at trial work are not always the same. I think for appellate work, you need to understand trial work, but appellate work takes a definitely different type of focus. So when we talk about the Diddy case, I think that's why we see him bringing appellate lawyers onto his team now. And he's got all of the money to to defend all of the things. And all of the things are quite a lot in this case. Thank you, everybody, for the congratulations. I know I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I appreciate it. Wolfhart was asking in the chat about what Charlie Adelson is arguing. It was in this week's Quick Bits over on the Quick Bits channel. So over on the Quick Bits channel, you will see it over there. But he's arguing lawyer conflict, and it's actually a really interesting argument. It's a really interesting argument. I know that's probably not going to be popular, but it is a conundrum of a legal argument. I'm interested to see what the state responds to and says, but on first blush, I'm like, we'll see. But it's not a, hey, you're throwing stuff at the wall argument. Then again, I said that Baldwin's attorneys were throwing stuff at the wall, and then we got down into the argument, and I went, fuck, we have surpassed throwing stuff at the wall, and we are now in the realm of what the fuck is happening. So you never know until you know, but we'll see what happens. Natasha, I will ask him. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I also think that Griffin is also now just jesting with me. So where's G for the 800K milestone? I'll tell him we hit 800K because it hasn't binged on this timer yet. But I also know that G is getting ready for bed, and I do not want to call him down on stream while he is getting ready for bed. But thank you guys. I will let him know, members. I'll tell you what he thinks. Don't worry. The Big Kapowski gifted 20 memberships. Thank you. I see you guys asking what my subs were during different trials. I truly don't know. When I started covering the Tati stuff is when we hit 10K. We hit 500K during Depp Heard. We were somewhere around 200K before that. But then again, during Depp Heard, we had 100 to 400K live concurrent on stream. So that didn't surprise me too much. And then we've grown and continue to grow since then. And we've grown the team. We've grown the Quick Bits channel. We built the app. We're building a new merch store. So we continue to grow. And I want to continue to bring you amazing content. And that's why we're growing out all of the other things. Because the app tonight was like, Verdict, let's go. And I was like, yes, amazing. Thank you. Thank you to the tech gods. So Nurse Thel said, I'm a home health nurse. Thank you for the work that you do and listen between patients all day. I excel at everything I do. That's my takeaway from this. Love from New Orleans. There was some telling stuff, wasn't there, during some of the testimony, really. Okay, this was earlier, so we've covered all of the earlier. If I missed it, any gifted memberships, I am so sorry. Flying Mom said, congratulations, found you during Tati, and she will shall not be named. Love you in this community. I love this community too. And yes, like Beetlejuice, or Voldemort. Therese, congratulations, been here since Tati, received jury summons and feel prepared after watching trials with you. There you go. And now you know if you're ever a deliberating juror and shit doesn't make sense, just send a note to the court and ask, hey, Your Honor, shit doesn't make sense. Hey, we can't reach a verdict on everything. What do we do? Just it. Please, spicy planner video. What is this? We have kind of an ongoing discussion of the spicy books, but my brain is blanking on what a spicy planner is because right now I just use my phone at the moment. But that's about it. That was a fun night. And I'm going roller skating Sunday. Have fun, Luna Dewdrops. It was a fun night. It's been too long since big streams. It's just been incredibly busy. I've been a bit of a hermit with how much traveling I've had to do lately. I am truly a little bit tired. Miranda's have been here since 2021 because of H3. Couldn't be more thankful for this community. You are making law fun. Can't wait for a million. Thank you. I'm here to make law fun and cover all different types of cases. I really, big dyslexic. There it goes. Did you guys hear it? Big dyslexic energy said neuro spicy planner advice. We can do some of that. We can talk about some of that. We'll do a non-members only like chill stream where we can just chat. So we grew to 500K during Depp Heard. We were over 200K before that trial started. So absolutely a fair bit. It was a long trial. And then the media just started attacking all the law creators out of everywhere. That trial was wild. We just been watching you since you were on Jen Love's channel, which was talking about Tati, because nobody was covering the legal of the pop culture, and I miss some of the pop culture stuff. We are going to be getting back to it. It's been very crimey around here. Megan asked what lipstick was I wearing yesterday. I was influenced by the internet. So I got, what color is this? I got the Bijou Balm that I saw on Instagram. I absolutely enjoy it. I think it has a very nice texture. I think the color I was wearing yesterday was Suitcase. I don't know. How do you say lollipop in French? I don't know how to pronounce it, but the Bijou Balm, this. So that's what I was wearing yesterday. It is probably not linked anywhere. You can get it through their website, Violet FR. And I was influenced by Instagram. And then I was like, oh, I should try it. So I've been trying it. I liked it. It's not matte. It's not super glossy. It stays on pretty well, and that's great. So let's see. Emily, you are the first YouTube channel I ever subscribed to because I feel safe and seen here. I'm grateful for this community. Mama Wolf, I'm so glad to hear it. That is what the mods are here for. And every now and then you get somebody who wanders in and realizes this is not their side of the internet. And it's kind of funny watching them be like, wait, what is happening here? It's like, oh yeah, you can't wild out like an asshole in our chat. And I know that that's weird. I know that's weird around the internet, but you can't do that in this chat. So the internet has plenty of places to wild out. We don't have plenty of places to just chat. So that's what we do here. June says, I believe the judge is happy this stage is over. I do. I believe the judge watching those videos was probably like, yeah, those letters are giving the same energy. So I think that. Allison said, what is a pre-sentencing investigation first felony? Sarah Boone has not had any felony convictions, so they've never done a pre-sentencing investigation. We explained it a little bit earlier. I'm happy to explain it again. This chat came in a bit earlier. The pre-sentencing investigation goes through the crime. They reach out to the victim's family. They may reach out, if there are any family, probably Brian Boone, to the defendant's family. They give a breakdown of the defendant, and they give recommendations. So it is a custodial or an evaluation by custody. So the Department of Corrections or the Department of Parole, depending on the state, will go through and do that investigative report and give you like a whole breakdown. They'll run and see if there's any other crimes. We know she doesn't have any other felonies. They'll break down past arrest. They'll probably talk to her doctors because she's had evaluations in this case. I don't know if she's had other evaluations in custody, but they'll break down kind of a full picture of like, who is Sarah Boone? What is this crime? And oftentimes give a recommendation of sentence or kind of an evaluation of how she might do in custody, et cetera. And then they will be able to, give sometimes a sentencing recommendation, and then the prosecution will give a sentencing recommendation and the defense will. So it'll be kind of a totality of the circumstances, holistic view, not just from the defendant, but also asking others. So that is what that is. It's done very commonly. There's normally some type of pre-sentencing report. In the federal system, it's a pre-sentencing report. They call it a PSI. Every jurisdiction has a different name, but generally there is some kind of report. Brandy asked, how did this case come onto your radar? The Lawnards. Y'all asked if I was going to cover it. And I said, I'll keep an eye on it. And then it was like lawyer out, got continued, lawyer out, got continued. I'm like, I've got it on the docket. I'll just see if it ever gets set for trial. So y'all asked. Generally, I either look at cases that I'm interested in from the outset. Like when I started seeing the Murdaugh case, I was like, wait, the East Coast has a Girardi too? Tell me everything. It was during the roadside incident. Tell me everything. And that's how I got interested in that one. So it really just depends on the case. But this one was the Lawnard saying, will you cover this? And I said, yes. And then when Sarah Boone got an attorney, I'm like, we'll see. And then there were actually a lot of really interesting legal issues in this case that I hadn't thought about. And really, as we were breaking through those, or as they were breaking down some of those legal issues, I'm like, those are not easy issues. So if I think the legal facts surrounding the case are interesting, if I think we'll learn something from the case, if we are not dealing with child victims, then it is a case I'm willing to cover. Cheryl C. said, will you be covering sentencing? Yes. Once I've covered a case, I'm going to cover the sentencing if it's public. Absolutely. And if there are appeals, I will cover those too. When this goes to appeal, like we're in it now, like we fucking live here. Once it goes to appeal, I'm dying to see what they have to say. So whenever an appeal is filed, because it will be, I want to know. Don't you want to know? I want to know. So now we're in it. Now we're in it. It's not just trial and done. Now we're here. So I'll be interesting to see what the appeal means. So with that, I tend to keep up with cases even after they are done. And then the Donna Adelson case, I had gotten a lot of requests with Charlie Adelson. The timing didn't work out. So when Donna Adelson got arrested, I'm like, are you guys interested in Donna Adelson? Everybody went, yes. And I went, okay. So a lot of it comes from law nerd interest. So it just depends on the case, on how I cover it, and if I can be helpful in breaking things down and how we can navigate it. Steph X said, I was shocked but pleasantly because I was interested in your insight when you did some coverage on Frankie and Hildebrandt. And that's part of why I didn't cover it a lot on live stream, so we could sanitize it a little, because I do try to balance how we cover cases. And there will be very rare exceptions where there are child victims. That one, I knew a lot of you wanted to know what was going on in the Ruby Frankie case, but also a lot of the coverage on it was so sensationalized that it was hard to even engage in the coverage of it because it was so much. So I wanted to help provide just the overview legal coverage for those that didn't need every single detail of the case. And I was hoping I could do it well in that case. It does take a lot of energy because it is incredibly sad. I also knew that if that went to trial, a lot of it would be sanitized if it went to trial. So I wasn't too worried about what would happen at trial versus other cases. But we will be covering Idaho. We will be covering the rest of this case. We will be covering the ongoing whatever is happening next in Karen Reed. I will be updating on the rest of our cases, but it's going to take a minute. I'll talk to the team about whether or not we'll put out quick bits a day late, just to give everyone a little bit of a chance to recover. So Sarah FL said, let's visit Mr. Beast. I've covered it a little bit on the podcast in quick bits. We'll see if there's more that needs to be getting into, but I'm keeping an eye on the employment law lawsuits over the TV show. So don't worry, we'll have an updated docket soon. I am not going to be streaming Monday. We will see what's going on for the week. If we need a day, I'm going to check in with the team after this much trial if we need a day on Tuesday. Otherwise, we might just do a shorter, a shorter stream on Tuesday. And then we'll kind of be back to regularly scheduled. So law nerds for 800K. Yes, we've got to judge the hair. I just haven't had time. For 800K, we've got to figure out what we're going to do. We have been thinking about tattoos though. So maybe a new tattoo. And then in December, I think I might go to Girardi's sentencing date. So I will keep you in the loop about that because I am very curious. I am very curious about what's going on there. So with all of that, law nerds, thank you for spending the evening with me. Thank you very much for your support, for your subscriptions, for downloading the app. We will keep you in the loop with everything next. Yes, we've got Menendez Brothers stuff to talk about. We've got Baldwin stuff to talk about. We've got YSL stuff to catch up with. Like there's so much going on in the law. It's going to take me 2 days to catch up on all of it. But as we're headed out, thank you, law nerds. Thank you for this. You've made all 8 of Octo's arms happy. He's going to be like, okay, stop subscribing now. We've reached all 8. I'm teasing. What he's going to say is, well, next is 8 million. So we've made all 8 of Octo's arms happy. I am going to rest. We're going to catch up on some of those cases. I'll ask you guys in the member spaces which one you want an update on first. Because YSL is going to take me a little time to catch up on, but it looks like some wild legal stuff's popping up there. So we're going to need to do that too. So with all of it, law nerds, thank you for being here. Mod Squad, Production Squad, Team Baker, thank you. It's been a long week. Everybody get some rest. It's Friday. Enjoy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a law nerd. Thank you for riding. And I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves this weekend, you guys. You deserve some rest. This trial was a lot. Even though it wasn't that long, it was still quite a lot. I'll see you guys soon. You can stay up to date with everything I'm covering and fast notifications on our free iOS and Android app at lawnerdapp.com or search the App Store for Law Nerd. You can also follow me around social media. And don't forget to check out my podcast, The Emily Show, with quick bits dropping every Monday, summarizing everything I do here on the live streams on Tuesday and Thursday for when you just have time for the quick bits. Thanks for being a law nerd.